The following message is brought to you today by GrowCo, CPAs and Advisors.
Hi, I'm Dennis Wolf, and I'm here today with the privilege of interviewing Lily May, who's running for the Fremont Unified School District Board. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Dennis. Thank you so much for inviting me here today.
Good. It's an honor. I'm excited. I talked with you a little bit before we started the interview, and you shared a little bit of your background. And I think it's important for the people who are listening and watching this video. So share a little bit, if you don't mind, about how you started or how you're here.
Certainly. So I've lived in Fremont now for almost 20 years, and my husband and I relocated out here from the East Coast, and I'm very happy to be involved with the schools as a parent of the school district. I have a son who is in 6th grade and a daughter who is a sophomore, and Fremont has an amazing diversity and also wealth of offering for us. I'm very fortunate also that my parents have chosen to relocate out here, and so that gives me a great support network for us to enjoy Fremont as a family.
You've been involved, you're currently a member of the board, and you're seeking re-election, which I believe most of the community is quite aware of the great work you've done on the board. Tell me a little bit about what led you to initially deciding to run for the Fremont School Board.
So for myself, I've actually been involved with schools for over 20 years now. When I was in college, I went to Drexel University, and one of the things I really enjoyed is rather than doing just a senior business project, we had a project called Learning by Doing. And we went out and found a need in the community, and so I helped build an educational playground for one of my local elementary schools. And now, certainly as a parent over the years, I want to be engaged, and I feel that California is going through some very difficult times, and it's actually more important in these times when we're struggling to have people who are educated, involved, and passionate about the education system. For myself as a parent, nothing gets more personal than for my educational experiences for my children in our community. So that's why I've chosen to make this.
We have a great school district, actually. I mean, when you look at the caliber of the Mission San Jose ranking in the nation, and the other high schools are moving up to those same levels of standards, a lot for you to be proud of as a current member of the board. That can only happen not only just with board and administration, but also with some great teachers. And maybe you could share a little bit about some of the amazing teachers you've seen in our community.
So one of the things I think that's really critical for the success of the children's environment is the contact that we have every day. And certainly the teachers are the front line in terms of the interactions with the students. And some of the things that we've done to make sure that the teachers are well supported is that although we've had very difficult budget decisions to make, where we have had the opportunities and possibilities, we've gone out and supported them, such as Save Fremont Students' initiative, where the community raised $600,000 over the summer to reinstate some of the specialty prep teachers. And then also I was very active in walking and participating with Measure K, which was Fremont's first tax initiative that passed. And it was just letting people know, would you give $1 a week for your families and for your kids, and making that investment, because Fremont has been very fiscally conservative and transparent with their decisions.
That's great. And I know that I'm near Mission San Jose Elementary School, and what really impresses me is how focused not only the school is on the children, but working with the teachers, working with the parents. It's amazing. So with that perspective and knowing what you've done before, what do you think sets you apart from the other candidates?
Well, I think that for myself, as I said before, I was involved as a parent, and actually, before I even ran for the board, I was on the PTA as both the president, Ways and Means, and I actually went to almost 2 years of board meetings before I made the decision to run. When you talk about parent involvement in education, one of the things I wanted to let you know, Dennis, is that we actually have award-winning schools in every attendance area. And the reason why is because of the infrastructure we put in. So programs such as parent and quality education, programs where we had Title I schools where parents came in for 9 weeks of training, and we provided the babysitting, we provided the food. I think that engaged parents in being more part of their children's education. It's investment. And then things that we've made decisions that are really conservative and important to serve for our schools is keeping things like summer school, keeping things like transportation. Because if we don't have our students at the school site, we can't really educate them. And so making sure that they have all the resources they need so they don't fall behind this summer, so that they're given the opportunity to maintain their growth and progress in schools are key to why our schools have been able to be successful.
One of the things that, of course, I think sets Fremont apart from so many, many cities around the state is we are probably one of the most well-known, diverse communities. We have people from all different cultures, ethnic backgrounds, religions, etc. How does the school district, and what are some of the things you've done to help the school district mitigate that issue so that we can get a real good balance on our education for the children?
Well, I think one of the key areas that we've always been supportive across the district is that we have students who come from all over the world, and we speak over 100 different languages. We have many different support groups and parent networks that I think are critical for the sense of community, because we are very fortunate to be able to retain some of that culture, but kind of our bridge and share what we have from each of our cultures, but strengthening what we have here in the United States. So we have African parent networks, Latino parent networks, as well as this year we've started a Farsi Urdu parent group to support parents in the sense of community, because I think that there is still a need, whether it's with language skills or resources, to allow the community to thrive as part of our district. For those who don't know, Fremont is one of the fourth largest cities in the Bay Area. We have 33,000 students, 42 schools, and we actually are in size only a couple hundred students short of Oakland Unified. And we are probably in the top 25 in the state of California. So trying to serve the diverse needs of our community can be challenging at the times, but it is one of the strengths of our district.
One of the things that I know, because I've seen how the school board comes to decision making, is that there can be times when decisions are really controversial. What do you think you bring to the school board to help mitigate those decisions down to where everybody feels like there's a benefit, so that no one feels slighted?
Well, I think that one of the key things is that parents want to feel that they're being heard. And I, myself, as a parent, feel that it's important to respect those parents' insights. The other things that we also make sure of is, formerly I was a controller, and I know that's important to follow the laws and make sure that we're respecting what we're sworn to promise to serve in the community. So we make sure that Fremont is of compliance with the laws, but at the same time interacting with the parents to get their say, because I feel that the success in education really is a partnership between all the parties to ensure that the students are getting their needs, but also maintaining and respecting the parents' needs.
So one of the things that we now know is we know the state, you've mentioned it earlier about the budget cutbacks and everything. Yes. What are your plans in terms of the state budget cutbacks? How are you going to address those issues in terms of getting that classroom more focused on the kids and not all the state mandates and everything else?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that we can do here in the district, despite the budget challenges that we're facing. We have strived very hard to ensure that the curriculum is well-rounded. We also ensure that despite the challenges, we have parents support local funding. It's important that students and parents feel like this is not just a building on the corner, but there's much more to our schools. And so engaging the community in supporting us to understand the impact. Myself, I've gone to all the legislation action days and advocacy days up with CSBA, which is the California School Board Association, and I've also engaged when teachers have gone up there to let legislators know that when they're making cuts, it's not just about a dollar figure. This is what it translates to in Fremont and how it impacts our families and kids, to give them some sense of real stories of how it touches people, not just a figure.
We're getting close to wrapping up because of time, but I would like to personally say, in observing, that around the community, people know you. And there are some really fine candidates running who have different, I don't know, I want to say political perspectives, but probably educational perspectives.
Yes.
And yet you bring a balance to the school board. How would you work with any one of these other candidates if one of them is also elected along with you being reelected? How will you bring more balance with that, knowing they're going to have their agenda?
Well, one of the things I think has made this board successful in the past 4 years is that we have 5 totally different personalities and people with different experiences. And that's what helps us make some of the best decisions. Because while we have differences in how we view some of the issues, we have one common purpose, and that's on serving the children and doing what's best for our community. And so having respectful dialogue, having understanding of board governance, and effective meeting plans are really important to serve the community and be a good team.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish you the best of luck, and I think the community is very lucky to have someone like you who really does obviously care, and not just care, but has a plan of action. That's a winning combination.
I really appreciate the time you've invited me here today, and I'm glad to have a chance to share a little bit about my perspectives with the community.